Crypto trading, in fact, cryptocurrencies themselves are a very, very recent phenomenon, with the first major cryptocurrency appearing only within the last 10 to 15 years. Due to the novelty of these new stores of value and the fact that we've never witnessed such a phenomenon before, where a mere ones and zeros stored on a computer are a representation of value, there also has been very little regulation and oversight in the evolution of this new form of technology and trading. Now, is the new $28 billion tax plan in the Senate infrastructure bill going to pose a threat to the industry? Let's take a look at the rise of cryptocurrency first. According to coinmarketcap.com, which is a market research website, upwards of 10,000 different cryptocurrencies are being traded publicly. This number continues to grow as more and more cryptocurrencies continue to proliferate, raising money through what are known as ICOs, short for initial coin offerings. As of this month, the total value of all cryptocurrencies in circulation across the globe was more than $1.6 trillion, down from a high in April of $2.2 trillion, as per data provided by CoinMarketCap. This reflects the high volatility of many cryptocurrencies as well. More specifically, Bitcoin, which is the most popular digital currency in circulation and also a pioneer in the space, was in the ballpark of $740 billion, which is higher than its recent price lows. However, despite the surge in the price, the April high of $1.2 trillion of market value for Bitcoin still has not been recovered. But what does the Senate have to do with it? Recently, this bustling business of digital currency trading, which is by its very nature decentralized and lacks any central oversight in its very design, has been hit with new requirements by a U.S. Senate proposal which seeks to increase the IRS's surveillance over cryptocurrency transactions. This has been done in light of President Biden's plan to generate hundreds of billions of dollars for the infrastructure improvement program he has kept high in his list of priorities, with a $28 billion figure floating around for how much taxing crypto trading can fetch for this ambitious infrastructure program. However, this has been questioned by the industry and investors, who have shown a lot of skepticism about the viability and effectiveness of this proposal, and even have very openly shown concerns that such moves may harm the bustling crypto industry. When at the end of July this Senate infrastructure agreement was released, supported by both Republicans and Democrats, a rarity when it comes to tax issues, the entire crypto industry, which includes cryptocurrency exchanges, investors, and other associated people, were caught by surprise when they noticed a large-scale increase in how much reporting of their transactions and activity they will have to do for the IRS. The cause for this specifically was for raising funds for the $550 billion infrastructure improvements program. This proposal is an update to the rules and regulations that compel cryptocurrency brokers to report their cryptocurrency trade and transactions, as well as investors into crypto, to disclose any trade that exceeds $10,000 in value, and it was the result of a compromise between the Democrat-led White House and the Republican Senator Rob Portman, who's a lead negotiator on behalf of his party. This proposal includes portions of a Portman measure, and similar ideas have also been proposed by the White House in the preceding months. The reaction to this proposal from the crypto community has been strong, to say the least, with Kristen Smith, who is the head of the Washington-based Blockchain Association, a trade group, saying, "Instead of rushing through an untested provision with vast unintended consequences, we encourage Congress to work with industry to find language that works for all stakeholders." This Senate plan, apart from the infrastructure funding goal, also aims to address a key challenge for the federal government, that is to keep a decent oversight into the explosive growth of cryptocurrencies and their trade, which by their very design are anonymous to a great degree, and therefore easily evade the banking system, that to a market whose value this year has crossed a whopping $2 trillion mark. IRS Commissioner Chuck Redding even went as far as openly saying that tax evasion from digital currency is a major contributor to the growing tax gap, which is a measure of the difference between what's owed to the agency and what it actually collects. Moreover, due to the anonymity offered by cryptocurrency trade, it has been linked to illegal activity from drug trafficking and money laundering. And given the quick evolution of the crypto industry in a mere matter of a little over a decade, the government has not been able to keep up and pass laws to regulate and oversee it, thereby causing bipartisan concern between Republicans and Democrats alike. Due to such reasons, mutual agreements between the two dominant U.S. political parties on this issue was achieved, despite lawmakers recently cutting an earlier proposal for broadening of IRS audits, which was deemed by the Republicans, who traditionally vouch for lesser government intervention in business, as far too expansive in its reach. However, on the other side, cryptocurrency investors themselves have had growing frustrations for many years on the lack of rules and regulations from the federal government on how to report their assets to get their taxes figured out and paid. And instead of being given clarity on the rules and reporting procedures, they've been facing an increment in audits and enforcement activity. Everybody's been talking about the appropriate way to provide more reporting in particular, and that leads to better compliance, said the Republican Senator Portman to reporters headquarters right after the deal was announced. Meanwhile, the cryptocurrency industry has raised questions about whether even the $28 billion revenue estimate from Congress's official tax scorekeeper, the Joint Committee on Taxation, was even accurate to begin with. There is certainly a spectrum from no reporting and intentional evasion to genuine mistakes, and most people fall somewhere closer to genuine mistakes, said Guinevere Moore, a tax litigator who represents clients investing in cryptocurrency. Some of those who lobby for the crypto industry have even gone as far as calling versions of the draft bill text not just unworkable, but potentially damaging to the growth of the industry in the USA, saying that collecting comprehensive information will be difficult, if not impossible. A few days later, in fact, an open letter penned by the Blockchain Association was posted that said what Congress is considering with this measure is not a new tax on the cryptocurrency industry. Instead, it puts new reporting requirements on individual players in the industry who have no way to comply. The letter said the provision amounted to an imminent threat to the budding crypto industry here in America. Smith, the head of the Blockchain Association, further said in another statement that the crypto industry was eager to see updated guidance for exchanges reporting to the IRS, but she argued that the bill's language was drafted with haste, further adding that, so, not only will these types of reporting requirements push businesses and jobs overseas, ceding American leadership in the crypto space to our international competitors, it won't collect the $28 billion Congress thinks they'll bring in. Jerry Brito, another crypto industry leader from the Coin Center think tank, said the draft language was so broad that it would add new reporting for many organizations that have no visibility into users' transactions. From the government side, the senators who have been writing the bill have yet to release a final version of the legislation. While industries have historically always complained about and criticized more regulation and surveillance, Congress has also been found to rush unfinished tax ideas into the law when it felt a need for revenue from the proposal to offset other spending in a given bill. Congress, in 2015, had passed a new audit process for partnerships and LLCs, limited liability companies, only because it would raise tax revenue and contribute towards a budget deal, despite the lawmaker who was architecting these ideas saying that it still contained technical problems. This is a very complicated space, easy to get wrong, and this is why we need a real committee process to consider these issues, instead of secret drafting or working on making it better, Senator Cynthia Lummis, a Wyoming Republican who owns Bitcoin, said. Other firms from the crypto industry have said that it is currently unclear even if they possess the ability to comply with this new proposed regulation, and that if it were to go towards implementation, it could possibly push parts of the crypto industry overseas out of the reach of these regulations. Shehan Chandrasekhara, who heads tax strategy for CoinTracker, a company that helps people manage and calculate taxes for cryptocurrency trade and transactions, has said that enforcing these new reporting requirements for cryptocurrencies is going to be extremely difficult. He continued saying that there is an attempt on part of the lawmakers to take what's worked for stocks and securities and to push those practices directly into crypto, about which he had the following words to say. I don't think it's going to work out because, in the crypto world, there's so much self-custody. A lot of people are holding their assets in a hardware wallet, and in the stocks and securities world, that never happens. The hardware wallet being mentioned is any physical device that contains the cryptographic private keys that are used by digital asset owners to access their virtual assets. It also will not be without difficulties to enforce reporting on decentralized exchanges, Chandrasekhara added, since many don't collect social security numbers, names, or addresses of users. Now that's a pretty perplexing state of affairs, isn't it? And with that, it wraps up the video. Thanks for watching.